to those who are listening to us from Europe, and good afternoon to those who are listening to us from Japan and Asia. Today, we are going to tell you about Alliance Renault-Nissan-Mitsubishi that is stronger than ever, that is based on solid foundations, that benefits from an efficient operational governance and from an intensified as well as flexible cooperation. The alliance, which holds its place among the world's automotive leaders, will be a more powerful player tomorrow, even more innovative, even more inspiring in the context of the formidable sustainable mobility revolution. These are the main messages we will share and develop with you today, and we'll back them with evidences. The reason I wanted this meeting is because the Alliance has done a tremendous job over the past 3 years and has made further progress since May 2020, when we last communicated to the outside world. Despite the pandemic restricting travels, operational progress has been very significant. We're going to talk not only about concrete actions already carried out within the Alliance, based on a leader-follower scheme, but also and above all, about projects planned for the years to come, with a precise milestone in sustainability, electrification, and connected mobility. Our presentation will focus on the mobility value chain. Our common concern is to concentrate all our energy on creating value for our three companies and investing in key technologies shared with the other two. For example, as far as electrification is concerned, we have already invested more than 10 billion euros in recent years, and we plan to invest a further 23 billion euros in the next 5 years. 15 of our plants, located in the main markets, Europe, Japan, United States, China, are already producing parts, motors, batteries, and of course, cars to power up electric lineup. Today, we are lifting the hood of the Alliance together. Luca De Meo and Clotilde Delbos for Renault, Uchida-san and Ashwani Gupta for Nissan, Kato-san for Mitsubishi Motors will put in perspective the strength we will draw from a deepening and accelerating alliance. 3 years ago, the alliance was experiencing a crisis unprecedented in its history, based on a lack of trust. This period belongs to the past. We have since then bounced back stronger and faster than even the most optimistic could have imagined, thanks to a remarkable spirit of cooperation and responsibility within the three companies, cemented by a mutual trust. We have been able to reinitiate the strength of the alliance, relying on its fundamentals recalled in the video. 22 years of cooperation, 420,000 employees, 100% of the major automotive markets covered, 29 plants delivering on a daily basis other alliance members with parts, powertrains, or even cars. 15 billion euros invested in R&D each year. More than 1 million zero-emission vehicles already sold worldwide. The solidity of the Alliance Foundation is a fundamental asset of our three companies. In concrete terms, we have set up an Alliance Operational Board, which I am honored to chair. It brings together the managers of the three companies and meets minimum twice a month. It is supplemented by all functions of the Alliance and the three companies who bring their expertise and knowledge. As we explained in our last conference in May 2020, we have defined a new operation scheme, working on key technologies, seeking for opportunities and developing common assets. According to this scheme, each technology is developed by one leading team with the support of the followers team. By proceeding that way, each member of the alliance has access to all of the key technologies. For example, as you will see in a few minutes, Nissan is the leader in autonomous driving and full all-solid-state batteries, while Renault is the leader in electronic and electrical architecture. As for Mitsubishi Motors, its expertise in PHEV or ultra-compact cars in Japan, for example, is already benefiting the other two companies. We will largely illustrate this principle with the decisions we are going to unveil. The Alliance has also developed a methodology that defines for each vehicle the desired level of commonality, integrating several parameters of possible pooling, for example, platforms, factories, powertrains, or vehicle segments. This is supplemented and enhanced by a stricter approach on design and upper body differentiation, which will be explained later more in details by Ushida-san. This operation mode, simple, direct, based on mutual respect, and faithful to the original spirit of the Alliance, is now well established. In the last 12 months alone, our work has been particularly fruitful. I would like to mention two key points and decisions we have made together. We have aligned roadmaps on EV battery technologies, leading, amongst others, to the selection of a common battery supplier for Renault and Nissan in France, UK, and Japan. We have defined a common vision on electric and electronic architecture that our CEOs will present you. Before giving the floor to my colleagues, I would like to emphasize with conviction that our strategy and all the decisions we make today and in the future are based on a shared vision of responsibility and sustainability. This is the common thread running through all our actions. Corporate responsibility is corporate strategy. And believe me, we share this vision within the Alliance, enhancing the strengths enriched by our different cultural approaches. We join forces for sustainability. This is, of course, the case for issues related to environment, decarbonation, circular economy, battery recycling, eco-design. For example, the Alliance is committed to reducing the emission from the use of its vehicles by at least 30% worldwide by 2030, to becoming carbon neutral by 2050. This is also the case for safety, ethics, diversity, and human rights. Devoting a lot of time to the Alliance's companies' nomination committees, I can tell you that I am very pleased to see, for example, how the promotion of women is an increasingly shared objective within the Alliance. Between now and 2030, the Alliance's momentum will expand at a pace it has never experienced in the past. It's my privilege to hand over to my colleagues, leaders of Nissan, Mitsubishi Motors, and Renault, who will share our achievements and future perspectives. Ushida-san, the floor is yours.
Thank you, John Dominic. More than ever, the Alliance remains a powerful partnership as we deeply commit to the future of mobility. Each company benefits from a global foundation of component sharing, technologies, and production facilities. More than anything, we also benefit from the shared experience and expertise of our people. The Alliance's common focus on sustainability is highly important. This is supported by individual companies' vision to empower mobility and beyond. The term together in the Nissan Ambition 2030 vision underlines the significance Nissan places on the Alliance and other collaborations. The strategic collaboration among the three companies gives us the competitive edge to drive the global mobility transformation. Of course, one of the key elements of sustainability is making efficient use of resources and innovative technologies that help us empower customers' journeys and achieve carbon neutrality. The leader-follower scheme has been a key enabler of this, and so far, over 60% of our models use common platforms. Going forward, we will be extending the leader-follower scheme in two important ways to support these efforts and bring maximum benefit to our customers. First, each company will be sharing more of the alliance's common platform and technologies. This means we can deliver greater value and our most exciting innovation to customers through our vehicles. Together with Renault and Mitsubishi Motors, Nissan has had great success in developing shared powertrains and features of SUVs and mini vehicles. To take this success to the next level, by 2026, the Alliance is aiming for more than 80% of our combined 90 models to share a common platform. This will allow each company to deepen focus on their customers' needs, their best models and core market, while also extending innovations across the Alliance. Secondly, as briefly mentioned by John Dominic, we are adopting a smart differentiation approach to drive cost competitiveness. At the same time, we will maintain brand distinction and the iconic design language of our core models. This helps the Alliance meet our customers' unique needs across every price point and vehicle segment around the world, while preserving the distinct identity of our models. So far, our joint collaboration has led to significant levels of commonization across the main area of the business: platforms, powertrains, and production. Building further on the leader-follower scheme and by using a smart differentiation approach, we will expand upper body parts sharing. We categorize smart differentiation into various levels from low to mid and high. At the low level, we modify brand-specific features like lighting signature, exterior plastic parts, and some interior styling elements. While at mid-level, we differentiate further by changing some exterior body stamping parts, as well as certain level of interiors. And at the high levels, the differences are much more pronounced, including overall body styling and full interior changes. By developing models with varying level of upper body, sharing helps achieve appropriate levels of cost reduction while protecting the uniqueness of individual brands. I will turn now to Kato-san to outline the many benefits of how this approach is being applied to key segments across each company's vehicle lineup in future in detail.
Thank you, Uchida-san. Following Uchida-san's explanation, I would like to talk about how complementarity is possible among the alliance partners. Now let me share some key examples, including our own vehicles. First example is Nissan Ariya and Renault Megane E. Those two cars are based on the new Common Alliance platform, CMF-EV, which will be described more in detail by Uchida-san later in this conference. Benefiting from the same platform and using the same powertrain, yet with high differentiation, those vehicles meet all customers' expectations. Next, Renault Captur and Nissan Juke. Both cars are based on the Alliance B segment platform with the same powertrain. And now, Nissan Livina and Mitsubishi Expander. Those use the same platform and powertrain with more commonalities on the upper body, so we can categorize them as mid-level of differentiation. Further, Renault Kangoo and Nissan Townstar with the same platform and mid-level of differentiation for upper body. Those vehicles use the same powertrain and are manufactured in the same plant. Now, we would like to show you an example of K-car in Japan. Mitsubishi eK-Space and eK-Wagon, as well as Nissan Looks and Days, are based on the same platform, use the same engine, and are manufactured at the same plant in Mizushima, Japan. Another strong example is the alliance platform CMF-CD. This platform is commonly used by the three companies for Nissan Qashqai, Rogue, and X-Trail, as well as all new Mitsubishi Outlander, which have been already launched. Further, the Renault Austral that was unveiled some weeks ago, and there will be later a 7-seater SUV on the same platform. I'd like to mention that the all-new Outlander, together with the one that carries our latest PHEV technology, has been accepted very well by our customers, and the sales has been very strong. Last but not least, leveraging this leader-follower scheme, Renault and Mitsubishi Motors are collaborating to reinforce our presence in Europe by sharing two Renault platforms and powertrains, including hybrid and PHEV. These vehicles will be manufactured in the same Renault plant, with the first model, new ASX, to be launched in early 2023 in the core B SUV segment. The second model will follow throughout the end of 2023. Next, I would like to talk about another example that the alliance takes at the regional level. In Europe, also in a different domain, Renault, Nissan, and Mitsubishi Motors have been joining the same cafe pooling. This provides each of us with the opportunity to regroup our registration and associated emission under a same pool, with the aim to comply the level of the pool rather than individually in a win-win approach. Thus, in 2021, and for the second consecutive year, the alliance members decided to regroup our registrations and emission, for example, in Europe. In the highly volatile context of the year 2021, notably with unprecedented electronic components crisis, this approach appears as a way to optimize the performance of pool members. Regarding new technologies, Mitsubishi Motors will provide Nissan and Renault with some assets, such as some part of PHEV. Reversely, Mitsubishi Motors is continuously studying the possible applications on the cars of the different alliance technologies. For example, the EE architecture is already used in the Outlander as the common platform. Future technologies developed by the alliance will be considered in the same way. So now, let us show you more about vehicle development and new technologies based on our strong alliance assets built during more than 22 years of cooperation. The three companies are building our future, and we would like to share our vision and strategy with you today, specifically focusing on pure EV and connected mobility.
So with 10 billion already invested and 23 more until 2026, our experience with electrification is, I think, a unique asset in the automotive industry. And we know how to make it bear its fruits. See, for example, our 4 common EV platforms already covering most markets in all major regions. The CMF-EV is the most affordable platform in the world, and it carries, for example, the new Dacia Springs and many others. We also have an EK car platform for ultra-compact EVs. And for our professional customers, we have our eLCV family, carrying Nissan Townstar and the Renault Master. And more recently, we came up with a very innovative CMF-EV. It will be on the roads in a few weeks, equipping cars like Nissan Ariya and the Megane E. But Uchida-san will soon tell you more about it. With these 4 platforms, we are the only one step away from being fully equipped for the big shift towards electrification. And we are ready to take this final step thanks to the CMF-B EV platform that we will launch in 2024. This will be a game changer, as I will show you in a few moments. And be sure that we will use all the potential of this unique set of EV platforms. And as a result, by 2030, they will carry 90% of the more than 35 new EV vehicles that we will launch. Let me also give you this figure. While we made 1 million cars on our EV platform from 2009 up to now, we expect to produce more than 1.5 million cars a year by 2026. So let's now focus on our 2 latest EV native platforms, starting with the CMF-EV, presented by Uchida-san. Please, Uchida-san.
Thank you, Luca. These platforms are central of our ambition to empower mobility and to give our customers greater choice in deciding which electric vehicle options best address their needs. Our focus on making advances in commonality, efficiency, and technology highlights how sustainability has become the center of our business strategy. The CMF-EV platform, with its technological innovation and the potential offered by the modularity, is a benchmark platform for a new generation of electric vehicles for the alliance partners. The platform has been created to integrate and optimize all the elements specific to a 100% electric powertrain, hosting a new high-performance motor and an ultra-thin battery. With this, we are able to offer unique and exciting new cars like the Nissan Ariya and the Renault Megane, which are due to be on the road in the coming weeks. It is also the basis of Nissan's next generation EV crossover that we are developing. The adaptability of CMF-EV architect means more design possibility that expand the limit of modularity across the segment and allow us to develop sedans to SUVs and sports car on this platform. The powertrain options are diverse, from single motor, dual motor, two-wheel drive, and four-wheel drive configurations. Multiple battery configuration provide the flexibility to cover smaller, competitively priced cars as well as larger vehicles that have longer driving ranges. We designed the CMF-EV platform to maximize vehicle space, comfort, and performance. Driving dynamics and handling are excellent thanks to the low center of gravity and the flexible steering and vehicle frame, which means a smoother ride with increased comfort. The extended wheelbase also allows interior design versatility enabling fully flat floors and a cabin with expansive roominess. You can experience this in the Nissan Ariya and Renault Megane, which express the benefit of CMF-EV platform, delivering D-segment level of the interior space in a C-segment sized vehicle. I'm excited to share that across the Alliance, more than 15 models will be based on the CMF-EV platform by 2030. That means this platform will be the basis for nearly half of our 35 EV models. By utilizing this platform across 5 brands, Renault, Alpine, Nissan, Infiniti, and Mitsubishi, in their respective core market, we expect to see up to 1.5 million cars per year produced on this platform by end of the decade. Our promise to our customer is a holistic EV experience. With the CMF-EV platform, we will do just that with attractive design, world-class roominess, and superior dynamic performance. But this is just one of the EV platforms that the Alliance will be sharing to develop a diverse range of electric cars. I would like to hand over to Luca for our shared platform in additional vehicle segments.
The CMF-BEV platform will be the key to democratize electric cars. For the very first time, EVs will be able to compete with ICE vehicles in the B segment. So, how did we achieve such a cost competitiveness? First, we relied on our long-standing experience with EVs, and based on it, we made a bold choice. We went for a native electric platform. We think it's an advantage over competitors who had to sit on the fence between ICE and EVs. But this is not the only area where we are leveraging all the power of our experience. More than 60% of the non-electric components will be carried over from the CMF-B, benefiting from our massive track record with these platforms. 3 million cars a year by 2025. The bottom line is, I think, stunning. We reduced cost by 33% compared with the Zoe, for example, which was a leader in Europe for a long time and still remains one of the best-selling EVs. And we do that with no compromise on performance and on quality. CMF-BEV provides up to 400 kilometer range. Its aerodynamics performance are outstanding, helping reduce power consumption by more than 10% compared with the Zoe. Its modularity also enables it to be fit for compact as well as for larger cars. In a word, CMF-BEV will be the best compact EV platform in the world. And thanks to it, Alliance partners find new ways to fulfill what is at the core of their brand identity, making the automotive modernity available for all. So it will equip 250,000 vehicles a year under the Renault, Alpine, and Nissan brands.
Thanks, Luca. Today, we are operating in a constantly transforming world where we need to lead the change and navigate towards a shared future through breakthrough technologies. With our Ambition 2030, we have clearly defined our electrification strategy with an aim to achieve a more than 50% electrification mix by 2030, globally with 23 electrified models, including 15 new battery EVs. Europe, which is a critical market for us, is currently experiencing one of the fastest electrification shifts. And to ride this trend, Nissan aims to achieve a 75% electrification mix in 2026 with an ambition to achieve 100% by 2030. While rapid electrification is a big challenge, It also presents a massive opportunity to reimagine how to efficiently and effectively ensure the natural shift to EVs. We need to create customer pull with an attractive proposition which is exciting, competitive, and clean. Today, we are capitalizing on our SUV and crossover leadership and have a solid C and D segment offer ready for market thanks to our alliance assets. And to supplement this, we are moving to boost our compact vehicle lineup to drive our growth in the biggest segment in Europe. With a breakthrough CMF-EV platform, introducing an all-new model that will replace our iconic Micra. Here is the sneak preview of this eye-catching compact EV that will be on the road in the near future. Our partner, Renault, has already revealed Echo based on the same platform. Designed by Nissan, engineered by Renault, the new model will be manufactured at Renault Electric City, the electric industrial center in northern France. The new Nissan car utilizes a 100% common platform, maximizes alliance assets while maintaining its Nissan-ness, embodying our unique design language. Succeeding our iconic Micra, I'm sure this new model will add further excitement to our customers in Europe. Next challenge, but opportunity, is driving competitiveness of EVs with breakthrough battery technologies. Using a common alliance battery roadmap, we are working at multiple levels to make batteries more competitive and collaborating closely on the advancements in the lithium-ion batteries from the molecular level. Our Alliance Common Battery Roadmap covers 4 key areas. First, technology, focusing on material selection and chemistry, smart thermal management, for example. Number 2, standardized cells to fit each EV platform. Number 3, efficient and responsible supply chain management, working directly with key suppliers. And number 4, capacity management, ensuring the right battery production capacity across the plants, preparing for a total of 220 gigawatt hour capacity by 2030. We are working with common partners to achieve real scale and affordability, enabling us to reduce battery cost by 50% in 2026 and 65% by 2028. With our common alliance battery strategy, we believe we can change the dynamics and deliver more value to customers.
Based on the shared roadmaps presented by Ashwani, the Alliance battery strategy allows us to monitor all the aspects that matter. For my part, I would like to emphasize various points that further strengthen our position in the battery field. With the 1 million electric vehicles already sold by the Alliance, our customers have been driving more than 30 billion kilometers, and we have acquired a tremendous amount of information and data on the real-life behavior of our batteries, range in different driving conditions, wear, recharging, safety, which is best in class. I would like to give you some example. Thanks to our Alliance battery management system, we can monitor the state of health of the battery, Unlike other players, we have chosen to control 100% of our hardware and software, which is beneficial for two reasons. On the one hand, the available data allows us to constantly improve our technology. On the other hand, we have very valuable predictive data, for example, on the wear curve of our batteries. Based on the information provided by the Alliance Battery Management System, our clients can publish on their smartphone or the internet a battery certificate that gives the customer of a used electric vehicle a guarantee for the remaining energy capacity of the battery. Considering that the used car market follows the exponential curve of new car sales, this data allows us to manage the value of used cars put back in the market by the brands in a very precise way, while providing key information for customers. And to take integration a step further, Nissan Ariya and Renault Megane E-Tech will benefit from the newest and third generation of our common Alliance Battery Management System with the latest improvements. In addition, we have developed together an ERP, an electric route planner, optimized with Google. The data is used by this ERP to obtain an optimal autonomy and a better management of stops and recharging. Indeed, the system calculates the best charging points and will soon be able to optimize the battery temperature at the arrival of the charging point to allow an optimized fast charge. But our works does not stop there. Nissan and Renault have developed what we call V2X and smart charging energy solution, allowing our customers to maximize the benefit of electricity utilization for home and reduce overall usage cost. We are also working to optimize the battery reuse, notably with second life battery application. And we have a strong focus on recycling to achieve efficient and sustainable solution over the full battery life cycle. Additionally, regarding the charging strategy, we have jointly negotiated with partners to offer the best proposal to our customers for public charging on the road. The latest example is our agreement with Ionity via the Alliance e-mobility service provider Plugsurfing, which will allow our customers to access at preferential pricing to the Ionity ultra-fast charging network in Europe. Still on the charging strategy, I would like to mention Mobilize Power Solution, which offers turnkey solutions, particularly for B2B. Mobilize Power Solution provides to these customers a complete end-to-end service, including project design, installation, maintenance, and management of optimized recharging infrastructure and all related services to meet their business needs. I think Mobilize Power Solution has a very attractive offer. Ashwani, what do you think?
Sure, Clotilde. And that's the reason why Nissan decided to select Mobilize Power Solution as a key partner for our B2B customers in Europe. While deepening our mastery across the EV value chain, we continue to closely collaborate to create the right EV ecosystem for our customers and for the environment. As mentioned earlier, our advancement in lithium-ion batteries give a competitive advantage to the Alliance. However, customer expectations are ever evolving. They aspire for better performance, handling, more interior roominess, and shorter charging time. And above all, choice of vehicles. Lithium-ion batteries have certain limitations, especially when it comes to the heavy-duty segment. The breakthrough here will be with the game-changing all-solid-state battery. As the Alliance, we share a common vision for ASSB. With Nissan's deep expertise and unique experience as a pioneer in battery technology, Nissan will lead the innovations in this area and will benefit all Alliance members. With 3 decades of in-house experience, Nissan has the highest ability to define every raw material and cell chemistry. Expertise in safe battery manufacturing practices and reliable quality assurance that fully eliminates the liquid electrolytes. This will not only reduce any possible side reactions in the batteries, but also reduce the need for space-consuming cooling systems. Nissan is involved in advanced research and development of a wide range of raw materials from anode to cathode to electrolyte to further improve safety and reliability of EVs among many key features. With diligent material chemistry and well-founded processes, our full ASSB will achieve double the energy density, meaning that with the right material packaging, we can increase the roominess in the car. As batteries become smaller, thinner, lighter, we can offer flexible layouts with more dynamic performance, and customer can experience great performance and great handling. And most importantly, the charging time will also be greatly reduced to 1/3. Our intention is to be ready to prototype full-size cells at our Yokohama pilot plant in 2024. With confidence in our groundbreaking innovations, we are focusing all of our efforts to mass-produce ASSBs starting fiscal 2028 and extend these breakthroughs to our alliance partners. For the launch in the fiscal year 2028, our aim is to have half battery cost and in future to realize the cost parity with ICE vehicles by bringing cost down further to $65 to a kilowatt hour and accelerating the global shift to EVs. Our goal remains to bring the cost, the performance, the convenience, and confidence benefits for the solid-state batteries of the future to empower our customer journeys across the alliance.
Thank you, Ashwani. Without a doubt, our electric future is very inspiring. Along with delivering cleaner mobility through advanced batteries and vehicles, Alliance members are developing the driver assist and vehicle intelligence technologies that help reduce accidents, empower our customers' journeys, and empower society by providing mobility choices. With greater adoption of smart connectivity features in our cars, customers can enjoy an integrated, personalized space connected to the world for a smooth on and off-board experience. To make this a reality for more customers, electrical-electronic architecture is a critical area for increased shared innovation across the Alliance. The Alliance has already made significant progress and developed a very competitive common EE architecture, converging electronics hardware and software application to offer maximum benefit and an optional level of performance. This was first used in 2019 in the Renault Clio 5 and Nissan Juke, and since then is incorporated in all models built of CMF platform to ensure that the complexity of future vehicle system stays manageable while delivering even more advanced features to our customers. We will integrate this common electrical architecture foundation across all Alliance vehicle platform through 2026, enhancing over-the-air capability, integration, and serviceability. At the Alliance, one of our key shared goals is to make mobility accessible to as many people as we can. Over 2 decades, the Alliance members have remained mobility pioneers to improve real-world driving safety, convenience, and enjoyment. We have steadily delivered innovation in intelligent vehicle and driver assistance technology. For example, Nissan's award award-winning ProPilot system. As of today, Alliance members have more than 1.5 million cars equipped with these technologies across 24 models. Our focus remains our bringing realistic and impactful improvement for safety and convenience of our customers. With shared platform and electronics by 2026, we expect to have more than 10 million vehicles on the road across 45 Alliance models equipped with autonomous driving systems. Importantly, the evolution of autonomous drive technologies will provide new mobility options for both cities and rural areas, helping to improve quality of life by empowering society through greater connectivity and more convenient, safe journeys. With a common basis of platform, hardware, and software, Alliance members will also unite vehicle connectivity under a shared cloud system. I will hand over to Luca for the next section.
So the connected car is another major application of our common electronic architecture under Renault's leadership. We have already more than 3 million vehicles connected to the Alliance Cloud with data permanently exchanged. Our common technology and onboard hardware are equipping Alliance platforms-based vehicles. But we are not stopping here. The next chapter starts in a few weeks with the Megane E-Tech. For it, we have co-developed a software platform enabling Google automotive services. And this makes us the first global mass market OEM proposing the Google ecosystem in its cars. In addition to that, with more than 20 over-the-air upgradable ECUs, we offer multiple benefits to our customer. Updating the system, downloading apps from the Android Play Store, and Nissan will follow. This is only the start of a move to extend upgradability to new features. Thus, by 2026, 5 million cars will be connected to the Alliance Cloud and 25 million will have been in total. Our ambition is clear. We will improve our cars over the air throughout their life cycle, opening new fields of value. We will seamlessly integrate the car into our customer digital ecosystem to offer them a personalized experience and propose new enhanced services. Behind all of this, for example, there are hundreds of euros of residual value per car. On top of that, software-defined vehicles will be able to communicate with connected objects, users, and the infrastructure. They will remain linked to our after-sales and service system throughout their life cycle. At the basis of our ambition lies a centralized electronic hardware architecture. A high-performance computer works as a central brain linked to zonal ECUs by a high-speed network, handling the different functions and controlling the electronic sensors and actuators. The ECUs cover the entire car. Centralizing our architecture reduces the weight of the system by around 10%, increasing the autonomy of our EV range and limiting the CO2 footprint of our electrified vehicle. It will also ease product evolution and reduce time to market from more than 1 year to virtually 1 week. Finally, the onboard computing capacity will be designed so as to cover the entire life cycle of the car. It will make our cars future ready. But the cornerstone of this transformation is the software platform design. At the end of the day, unbundling software from hardware is what allows the car to get better every day. When you will buy an Alliance car, you'll be getting your next cars at the same time. And last but not least, the software-defined vehicle will be the gateway to an unprecedented amount of data for car makers. Here is the automotive industry's next frontier, and the Alliance has positioned itself as a trailblazer.
Thank you, Luca. And thank you to the Alliance leaders for your very rich presentations. I assume that all of this information has inspired questions from the international journalists and analysts attending this event. I am now very happy to moderate this question and answer session. So we have a first question coming from Thomas Besson. Could we imagine a more balanced relationship between Renault and Nissan and between Nissan and MMC in the future in terms of shareholding? Thank you, Thomas, for this question. I will answer very simply and very quickly that the purpose of today's meeting is obviously to show and I would say showcase how the strength of this alliance is increasing every day. It's a very operational meeting, as you can understand, just to be sure that everybody understands that we are sharing the same future and the same community of future. So the point about shareholding is not on the table today. It's not the subject for today. And I think I will answer as simply as this. It's not the point as we speak. So thank you, Thomas. The second question coming from Nikkei. Asayama-san, competitors are expanding their partnerships to accelerate electrification. What advantages do you see of the alliance over competition? Well, then I will ask Uchida-san if you would like to answer that question.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Sanal. Do you hear me?
Yes.
Will that be okay?
Go ahead.
Yeah, so thank you for this, Sayama-san, for the question. As you can see through our communication or presentation today, that the alliance is moving on the very right direction, and we want to make sure that creating the value for each company and how we can go on this transformation of the industry that we are facing today. So, with regard to your questions about how the partnership accelerates electrification, you already have seen and our announcement of Nissan Vision 2030, and you have seen what the alliance is going to deliver to the world in terms of the electrification that we are piling up. So you will see more in terms of the number that we have announced today. And as far as the Nissan is concerned, we are going to have soon on Alia and the KEV, which is a full collaboration with Mitsubishi. And today you have seen that CMF-EV, which will be the replace of the Micra, that we are very pleased to announce to the market. And this will be coming as under the strong relationship and the cooperation of the alliance.
Okay, well then we have another question coming from HSBC, Henning Gossman. It's good to see the alliance working so closely together over the next decade. Please can you discuss the economics of the Google partnership on software and why you prefer this approach over developing and controlling the software in-house? Thank you. So maybe I would ask Luca to answer that question.
Okay, so of course we're not going to reveal the details of our contract in terms of economics with Google. Obviously, we are, as it normally happens, have to pay licenses fee for some of the things. But the most important thing with Google is that we have seen a very, I think, successful cooperation to integrate the software in the hardware. And the best proof will be the infotainment system of the Megane, which will be launched in the next weeks. I think the first feedback from the specialists and the press is very motivating. So the most important thing is our ability to integrate different worlds within our product in a way that is relevant and positive for consumers. We think that an horizontal model of cooperation is probably the best one, the most efficient, to speed up innovation, to reduce the cost, And we can count in the alliance and also in Renault in a team of almost 2,000 software engineers. It's a kind of a hidden gem that I found when I came to Renault. And their specialty is exactly to integrate software in hardware, as many of them come from the mobile industry. So this is our approach. At the end of the day, what will count is the reaction and the satisfaction of our customers, and we'll have very quickly the chance to see what they think about what we have done.
Okay, thank you, Luca. I think now we have an audio question from Charles Goldecott. Please go ahead.
Hi, thank you for taking my first one is on the product plan. So you're planning 35 models, fully electric models by 2030. Meanwhile, Tesla is aiming to sell 1.5 million cars this year from just 4 models. So conceptually, why do you think traditional car makers like yourselves need a product range with many more models to sell the same or similar numbers of units as Tesla does? And my second question, on the electronic architecture, on slide 36, could you just talk to us about how much of that architecture is going to be done in-house? For example, are you planning on designing the ECUs or the high-performance computer yourself, or will you be working with partners on that? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. So I think we would start with the second question, if I may, so to make the link with what we just said before. So maybe, Luca, you would like to complement the answer.
Yeah, it's difficult to give a percentage of the thing because that will be a teamwork between us and some of our partners. In the case of the ECUs, for sure we'll rely on people that come from this industry. And I think we'll have the chance in the next months this year to be more specific on who we are partnering with and what is the strategy. But as I said before, it's a kind of horizontal approach that we are looking at into some kind of ecosystem approach to this technological challenge.
Thank you. So maybe now we could get back to the first question and ask Uchida-san or Ashwani, whoever would like to get the point to start answering. So Uchida-san.
Question, that's a great question. Why we need more models? Thank you. Why we need more models to cover? First of all, Renault, Nissan, and Mitsubishi, we cover 100% of the geography around the world. And with the lineup we have, which is close to 100 models, we respect each and every customer around the world. And we want to give the opportunity to each and every customer we have to shift naturally towards the electrification. And this is the reason that we are focusing not only on models, but how to make models more exciting, more competitive by using the Alliance platform, by using the Alliance battery, and also using the many of the common e-powertrains. And that's why we believe that our future is not only about the volume, but in addition to the volume, it's about the profit. And in addition to the profit, it's about how we can cover the 100% geography around the world.
Okay, thanks. So we have now another question coming from Asahi Shimbun. Please tell us what the battery procurement strategy is for the Alliance. Is it limited to AESC? Please also provide information about lithium-ion battery sourcing strategy in China and the US too. So maybe I would leave the word to Japan, and perhaps Uchida-san, you would like to take the point.
Okay, so thank you for the question. I would like to firstly say that, of course, AESC is one of the partner. Then we will further to work how we can optimize ourselves in line with our model lineup in each designated market, means China and US. And this is something that we are working together with our partner of the existing supplier and how we can further to evolve in line with our technology. And there's a lot of options that we would have to further to consider how that could meet not only the Nissan, but also the extent of the alliance. This is what we are on the discussion today.
Okay, well, thank you. Thank you, Ushida-san. Now we have another question coming from Hans Gremel, Automotive News. How much of the newly announced investment will be shared? Specifically, what % for what technology, by what company, and over what period? That is a very precise question, isn't it? I mean, the general answer is clearly the numbers that have been, I would say, displayed are numbers that express the shared aspect of these investments. That's the beauty of the alliance, because if that was not the case, we would have different investment amounts by company, which wouldn't make sense. So the great common aspect is that the figure that we have made public is a common figure, already integrating the sharing. But maybe I could ask Luca to start answering the point if there is a more precise answer to give, and then I would send the word to Ushida-san and Kato-san.
You've seen the number on the chart. It says that, let's say in the next years, we will move from 60% commonality on platforms to 80%, gives you a kind of a direction where the whole thing is going. What I can tell you from the Renault side is we obviously developed a new product plan, as we had the chance to say a few times the last 12 months. It's a much more efficient, we think, and also profitable, lineup for Renault. And because of the fact that we decided to a family approach based on platform components that come from the alliance, we were able to lower down the entry ticket for cars by 40%. It gives you a feeling of how effective a kind of a different and common approach could be for each one of the companies.
Okay, would you, Ushida, Akato-san, complement the answer?
Speaking. Thank you, Hans, for that question. As you can see, that of course, the investment and how the individual company further to grow on the product lineup. This is what we are discussing, and there is a lead and follower scheme that we already have announced. How those value could be given to each company. So this is how we have been structured, and it is working very well from the last 2 years ago when we started to speaking about this concept and how we are evolving today. And you will see a lot of our result, how we want to make it happen, which you saw in the past presentation, which is representing all of those. And I think this will be one of the great assets that we can further to grow for each company, including the value creation that we are going to work for it.
Okay, thank you, Ushida-san. Kato-san, would you?
I think it depends on the how much. Yes. Okay, may I?
Yeah.
Related to the investment, it also depends on the how much common platform we are going to join. For example, like MMC in Europe, we have right now seriously studying the future strategy, and we have not decided yet, but probably there is a possibility to join more EV platform from MMC side. In that case, we will of course bear more investment, but how much we bear will be decided by the volume and also how much platform we join. Based on such a study and discussion, we are going to decide how much we bear the total investment, I think.
Okay, well, thank you very much. I think that gives the bulk of the answer. We have now an audio question from Peter Campbell from Financial Times. Please go ahead.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you very much for taking my question. 2 brief questions, if I may, on money. How much of the money that you've announced today is new? Because Renault is already investing 10 billion euros, Nissan's announced $17 billion. So how much of the 23 is new? And if you look at the 23 in total, it's roughly half what Volkswagen is investing. How is the alliance hoping to compete, investing half as much money? Is there something that you feel gives you a head start over VW, such as your existing electrification program? Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you for the question. Maybe, Clotilde, you'd like to pick up at that point?
Yeah.
And
Thank you, Jean-Dominique. Well, basically, there is not much completely new, because what we wanted today is to explain you what we have in our various plans, right? There are something news, like what Nissan has announced about taking into account the new CMF-EV platform and building a compact car in it. So that is new. But the bulk of it is some things we have been working on since some times, and that was embedded in the Renaulution plan on one side, in the Nissan Ambition 30 on the other side. So the bulk of it is something we've been working on, embedded in our figures, and will enhance our profitability in the future. Now, on the answers versus Volkswagen, I think you mentioned it in your question. We have 10 years, even more, of experience in EV. We don't start from scratch. We know what is going to please the customer. We have experience in battery, as what you have seen before. So in our view, we have a very intelligent way of spending the money and sharing what is best of each one of the worlds of Nissan, Renault, and Mitsubishi. That's the reason why we don't have to spend more billion than what we have announced. We believe this is clearly sufficient to fulfill our ambition of the various companies.
Thank you, Clotilde. I think it links to the answer I gave just before. I mean, obviously, this amount is a very significant amount, certainly when you take into account the past investments. And by the way, by being the three of us together, we can optimize this investment massively, which is, again, the beauty of this alliance. So I think it puts the point. We have a question from Knut Moberg from Norway. Is a Mitsubishi-based CMF-EV vehicle planned or under development for the European market? So the question goes straight to Kato-san.
Yes, thank you for the question. That is a very important issue, and right now we are studying very seriously about it. Related to our business in Europe, very frankly speaking, these 2 or 3 years, it was not profitable at all. That's the reason why, as you know very well, last 2 years we have been conducting the big restructuring. But thanks to such a restructuring, now our profitability has been very much improved. And also, we have decided to have a support by Renault, as it is presented in the presentation. Then, next issue is how sustainably we will survive in Europe. That is the issue to be studied next. And in order to survive in Europe, definitely we need an EV platform. And that's the reason why CMF-EV will be a very strong possibility for us. But for the moment, we have not decided anything. So we are going to study very seriously. Then, in the appropriate timing, I will be able to announce to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Kato-san. I mean, obviously the direction is clear, and this common vision will strongly solidify the alliance in Europe, and we're all looking forward to that. We have another question from Claudio Todesini about the new Nissan Micra EV. Will it be EV only, or there will be an IC hybrid version as well, based on another platform, or of course? And that I would ask Ashwani Gupta-san to answer that point.
Thank you for this question. At first, we are announcing the successor of Nissan Micra for Europe. Why we are doing it? We are doing it because this is one of the most competitive segment in Europe, and to have the battery electric car in this segment, it has to be competitive in terms of performance, but also in terms of price. As we explained today, that CMF-EV platform is going to be very competitive, which is the platform itself is 30% less than the current EV platform. In addition to that, it carries over more than 60% of the components from CMF-B platform, which, as you know, we have Note Aura in Japan. So by bringing all this module, we are building up the economy of scale. That's the first question. The second, the battery, as we talk about, the Alliance battery is common with the common supplier. That again gives economy of scale for the competitiveness. Now, if I add on everything, what exactly we want to offer to the customer is the parity with the ICE and with a better performance. And that's why the Micra successor in Europe will be only Micra EV. Now, it's too early for us to say, but of course, being this platform being so much competitive, and as we are using CMF-B two kind of specification on ICE platforms around the world, we would like to explore the opportunity to go for transition towards the battery electric around the world. But at first, we want to focus in Europe because that's where we want to demonstrate the competitiveness of Nissan using the Alliance assets. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashwani. This is a very clear answer. We have now an audio question from José Asumandi. Please, José, go ahead.
I think it shows the strong partnership between the companies. So three questions, please. The first one, can you talk a little bit more about CMF-EV architecture and how maybe you're sharing the purchasing on the three key components, powertrain, motor, and battery, if you have some examples. The second one for Nissan, very impressive solid-state battery technology. I think you are one of the very few or maybe the only company that we've heard that can actually put a time map for this technology. Can you talk a little bit more about some of the technical milestones to launch this technology, which again could be, I think, a key differentiator versus peers? And third, Mitsubishi, and I understand you want to reinforce the presence in Europe, and I heard the comments that you're still considering evaluating all the plans. I would be very interested to hear if on the Mitsubishi side, whether you will be interested in producing a vehicle or on a Renault or a Nissan plant in Europe. Thank you very much.
Okay, maybe I would ask Luca to take up the first question, then I will ask probably Ashwani to answer the second, and then let the word to Kato-san. So maybe, Luca, if you would like to start.
So CMF-B EV was kind of, let's say, developed here. So we know, obviously, the platform pretty well. It is a platform that could underpin cars from 3.90 meters to 4.20 meters, so relatively flexible. We will have a battery pack that will allow at launch, that means 2024, up to 400 kilometers of range with a battery of a little bit more than 50 kilowatts. It will also integrate an evolved, electronic architecture and infotainment system. So you have seen the Renault 5 concept. So I think you can understand more or less what we are talking about. We have taken a very smart approach to reuse some of the components not related to the BEV, let's say, package from the CMF-B. So that means the ICE version, the Clios, the Micra, today's Micra thing. So it gives us scale. So one of the issue was to actually reduce cost, and we think that our role in the market is to democratize technology because we are a popular brand, a volume brand, and so the driver was reducing cost but still do a technological and emotional product. And I think we have a very, very serious argument with the CMF-B EV, also because we might probably be the first one to come, with such kind of platform in the market. And Nissan can also take advantage of our assets.
Okay, thank you. So maybe Ushida-san, you would pick up the second one about the solid-state battery technology and share with Ashwani, whoever you decide.
Yeah, okay. So first, let me take the overall. As we announced, we are quite confident about this technology. And this is also something that's being worked in the alliance for the long term. when it comes to the very early stage of the development, which is true. And of course, we announced that by 2024 in Japan, Yokohama, we would like to have a pilot plan and come in 2028 to make it mass production. As this all-solid-state battery that we have announced that the cost parity with ICE that we are aiming. And this is what we already planned. And I think we are very proud to talk about what is the cost that we are targeting for this ASSB, which means that we have the confidence coming from our expertise of what we have been doing. And you saw the film today, not only the Nissan, but also Renault and also the Mitsubishi has been great asset working on this battery technology. And this is what the Alliance is making very strong. And of course, as a Nissan, by needs of the bigger segment car that we went ahead as taking the leader for this ASSB. So this is something that overall that I really would like you to be confident about what we are saying. And Ashwani, if you want to add something towards that.
Thank you, Uchida-san. So as we said, what we want is a natural shift towards the battery electric cars. What we need, 4 things. Platform, we explained we have common platforms. Second, we need the batteries. We have Alliance batteries for lithium-ion. Third, we need electronic architecture. Fourth, we need the e-powertrain. So on battery, when it comes to the all-solid-state battery, this is the heart of the car, and we want to develop right from the raw material chemistry till the process to control the performance of the electric car. And that's why we as Nissan decided to have the in-house research and development. Now, answering to your question, what is our milestone? We have already developed the prototype cells in our prototype shop. The next step is we are going to have full-size cells to be developed in Yokohama, and we will have it in 2024, and we are targeting 2028 to be mass produced. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ashwani-san. Maybe so naturally, I would say Kato-san would like to answer to the third question about Mitsubishi and Europe and Renault.
And related to the manufacturing plant utilization of Renault or Nissan in Europe, as I explained in the presentation, we have decided to have an OEM model supported by Renault, and those vehicles will be apparently manufactured in a Renault plant. And further plant related to the further plant utilization, it depends on the study which we are going to do from now. As I told you, right now we are seriously studying how to survive in Europe. Then, if we decide to introduce more model in Europe, there might be the possibility to utilize a Renault or a Nissan plant in Europe. But again, we have not decided anything yet. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. But decisions will be taken soon anyway. So, thank you for that. We have another question from the Nikkei, Azayama-san. How do the CEOs think the alliance is competitive enough against other automotive players? Wow, this is a question. Of course, the 3 CEOs could answer. I will attempt to make a first approach is to clearly mention that we have gone through the 3 companies very strong crisis in the past few years, and obviously we were not brilliant in terms of competitiveness. It is absolutely clear, and that's the strong evolution that happened very recently, I would say, is that the 3 companies, Renault, Nissan, Mitsubishi, have corrected the direction, and now we are moving towards a much more competitive situation. And I'm absolutely sure that in the coming weeks, the announcements by the companies of the results will showcase the point. Maybe as a very simple matter, the 3 CEOs would like to add a point to that, perhaps starting with Luca.
Well, look, I think that there has been a lot in the last couple of years. We never had the chance to see the whole picture together. This event is also meant to give an impression of how rich and how competitive is this group of people, and the 420,000 employees that the alliance have around the world. There's been a lot of announcement in the past 2 years, but when you look at the position of the alliance on some of the key technological trends, whether it's EVs or software, electronic architectures, I think the alliance is very strongly positioned. We are still, the third group in the world. I don't know if this number, probably yes, will also be, let's say, confirmed for the year 2021. So for sure, we are not a second division player when we are all together. And I have discovered coming at Renault in 2020 that there are a lot of hidden gems within, let's say, my company. Each one of us has been concentrated for the last 2 years, as Jean-Dominique said, in restructuring the business, turning around the business. I can speak for the Renault side. I think we are, on the right topics with the right resources and competences. Also thanks to the cooperation with Mitsubishi and Nissan. And we have, from a technological point of view, I think, a pretty competitive position to look with optimism at the future.
Well, yeah, thank you. Maybe Yoshida-san, you'd like to pick up at that point?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. So as I was asking for this question, as you have seen in the past 2 years, how we have evolved in each company. I think we have delivered what we have said. And of course, under the alliance, we had a lot of discussions through the alliance operational board. As Mr. Sanao mentioned, we do this every twice a month. And we explore how the value can be given to each company. And we have an intense discussion through that meeting, which has led to today's presentation. So I hope after looking at today's presentation, you feel confidence how we could be competitive, and we are competitive in the market. And this is an area knowing that the difficulty of the electrification of the world is coming in the future, and it is already coming, and how we can work together and with the alliance asset that we have in order for us to further to make our presence in the market or to deliver the value to the customer. And I really hope today's presentation have attached to you and do understand what is the competitiveness of the alliance that we can demonstrate for the future.
Okay, thank you. Kato-san, a word to complement?
Yes. Today, we have announced a lot of challenging strategy. And if this is fully implemented, I think it is very competitive enough. But the issue is how concretely those strategy will be implemented in the coming next 5 years. Then let's see what happens. I think I have confidence, and I think we are very competitive enough.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kato. It's a great hope for the coming months. There is another question coming from Watanabe Toshifumi. I think that some destinations are reluctant to purchase EVs due to household income, infrastructure, and electricity conditions. What are your thoughts on the vision and development of existing technologies such as e-power and PHEVs for the entire group? So what I suggest is perhaps Clotilde would start with a few comments, and then I would ask Ashwani to complement, if that is okay for you. Clotilde?
Yes, thank you, Jean-Dominique. Well, actually, it's a great question. And that's a question that we're debating internally, too. I think the price of EV, as everybody knows, is quite expensive compared to other cars. It's true that we do see a lot of inflation coming in the various countries. And on top of it, your question on infrastructure is a very good one, because today, one of the main roadblocks for purchasing a car is to be sure, the customer wants to be sure it's going to be able to recharge its car either at home, at work, or on the road. Hence the contract that we announced earlier today. So there are some roadblocks still on the EV. We're working on it, through trying to remove them. But in the meantime, a lot of families do feel more secure by purchasing electrified vehicle before going directly to full EV being the only car of the household. So that's the reason why we collectively within the Alliance, I think we have the right technology for this intermediary, I would say, technology that is needed currently, and we think that it's going to be needed for quite a few years still because of what we just mentioned. We have this gem that Luca discovered when he joined Renault of E-Tech. Nissan has e-Power. There's the PHEV of Mitsubishi. So we are very well equipped to answer this current trend of a reassuring, if I would say, purchase. But in our view, we've been a firm believer for EV since a decade, as we said, and we strongly believe that is the end game is going to be EV. In the meantime, we don't give up on electrified because there is a demand for that type of technology.
Okay, clearly. So maybe, Ashwani, would you like to compliment?
Thank you. I think I take this question not as a challenge, but I take it as a big opportunity. We talk about household income. Of course, household income is related to the purchasing power. Purchasing power is related to the options available. And as we explained today, the way we are moving on the electric platforms, battery, powertrains and electronic architecture, the ultimate goal for us is to have a parity with ICE cars in terms of price positioning, but with a better performance. So definitely, we solve the challenge of household income and it becomes an opportunity. Second, you talked about the infrastructure. Because of time, we could not explain today, but I think in Nissan Ambition 2030, we talked about V2X. Of course, infrastructure is important, but imagine in Europe in 2030, if 100% of the market is battery electric, every home will have its own charging facility. And we are focusing more on quick charging at home, of course, in addition to the infrastructure which we announced today. And with Aria, we are going to launch AC3, which is a quick charging. The third thing you talked about is about the electricity conditions. And I would say here that electricity condition is not a challenge, it's an opportunity. And you would have seen that our dual connectors on the battery electric cars not only takes the electricity, but gives the electricity back to the home. And that's what we say, vehicle to home, vehicle to grid. And these are the new electric opportunities which will naturally shift the markets towards the battery electric. Now, question on e-power, obviously technology is not for technology. At the end, technology is for customer value. And if customers in a specific regions are respecting e-power, e-tech, definitely we are there to serve them. But the question again remains that whether it is better performing and better competitive. That's what I think is our main task. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. There is another question coming from Tara Patel. You said that the shareholding issue isn't on the table at this point, but how and when are you planning to deal with it in the future? And the second question, do you think that this EV plan makes the ties between the three car makers unbreakable? Well, on the first question, I've answered, I think, quite clearly at the very beginning of this session. You all understand that the priority of the day isn't there. We are clearly moving in a very strong common direction, and I will not insist on what has already been strongly detailed by the CEOs and the team. And that sort of subject, you know, life is long, and we should never be impatient anyway on that type of subject. Now, the second question, I will also answer very simply, because obviously, I mean, from what you have heard since the beginning of this session, we are demonstrating clearly that the ties are extremely strong, and I think today that are in effect unbreakable, because our common destiny is linked to all what we're doing on the ground, on the operational ground. And as you can understand, that was, I think, the main message of this meeting, is that the alliance is something that is strong and exists. There were some doubts, honestly, and I'm well placed to hear that. There were some doubts in the past months and years about what this alliance is going to become. I even heard that as this alliance was silent, that nothing was happening. Well, on the contrary, I have to tell you, we've been working hard, under the radars perhaps, but the result of that is what you've seen today, with so major announcements that bring our links to be totally unbreakable in the coming years. So that is absolutely a clear answer I can send to you. So thank you for that. There is another question coming from Pierre-Yves Caminier. Could you please BEV share targets in 2025 and 2030 at Alliance and individual company levels? CMF BEV and CMF EV capacity suggest circa 1.75 million BEV or circa 20% of the total Alliance volume in 2030. What could be the total Alliance BEV production on the all 5 platforms in 2030, and the ballpark number for 25 would be appreciated. So that is a very precise question. So to answer it, I would probably turn first to Luca, and then the other CEOs would probably pick up.
Now, on the Renault side, let's say we declare that we are working to make sure that Renault achieves 100% pure EV vehicles in Europe 2030. I think on 2025, our calculation say that we would probably need to do 25% of pure electric vehicle to hit the targets. So everything we do on top of that will be a benefit to the reduction of our carbon footprint. But with the product that we are putting on the road from now to 2025, I think this would be feasible because it would only mean like doubling today's, let's say, mix of EVs in the next 3 to 4 years. Out of the 27 models that Renault will launch from now to 2025, if I remember correctly, 11 are pure EVs. So I think today we only have basically 1, and we do more than 10%. So this is the, let's say, the situation from the Renault side.
Okay, so maybe to complement the point, Ushida-san, would you take the question?
Yeah, what we as a Nissan mentioned that when it comes to the, let's say that how we are going to tackle challenge through the electrification, we say that 1 year ago, by early 2030, we will be offering 100% electrified vehicle in our core market. That comes as our first principle. Then under the Nissan Ambition 2030, we also mentioned when it comes to the Europe, specifically 2026 will be 75%. Then by 2030 in global, over 50%. That's what we clearly mentioned. And this is the plan that we have. We will further watch carefully how the market evolves, because I would like to emphasize again, we are not living in a global, it's kind of a deglobalization because of the speed of the electrification is not the same on each market. And how we can prepare the full lineup to give the value to the customer. This is what we have been designing under the Nissan, and we will be ready to give such value in accordance to the market speed. So this is what we have planned as our vision, and we would like to come back to the market when it comes to the post-Nissan Next, which represents next 3 years after the Nissan Next completion, and how that the electrification of our each designated market is going to evolve. This is about the big nutshell that I can give to you today.
Okay, and Kato-san, another word for this question?
Yes. Okay. For Mitsubishi, our target of electrification is just in 2030. Electrification ratio, including the BEV, PHEV, hybrid, is 50%. It doesn't look a very ambitious target, but there's a reason. Because, for example, like in Europe, the direction of the electrification is very, very clear. For example, in 2030, if we want to survive in Europe, most of the vehicle must be EV. It is very apparent. But for example, like Mitsubishi, our main market is ASEAN area. In that area, still the direction is not very clear. Sometimes government said, we'll push BEV strongly, but next year, we have revised our direction. So always the strategy is changing and changing in those countries. Then for the moment, we are very carefully watching the movement of those countries, not only, of course, in ASEAN, but other countries too. So based on such more observation, we like to decide a little more specific target. That is Mitsubishi's position. Thank you.
Okay, well, all of you are quite positive on that, and the takeaway I can sort of summarize is that the alliance is going to be ready anyway, and the amount of EV vehicles will be probably higher than even people think today. The 35 models that we are talking about in 2030 will probably reach a huge amount. And so everybody understands it's difficult to be precise on the number just now. But the most important part is that we obviously are taking the capacity and anticipating the capacity for the future. So we will be ready, we will be on time, and the alliance will answer to the market in a very performing way, clear. Thank you for the question anyway. So we have a question from Ketan Taka from the Economic Times India. Where does India figure in the EV transition for the alliance? Do we see CMF-A or CMF-E being localized in the foreseeable future? Sorry, Ashwani. It's because there is an Indian focus on the question. I might turn to you if you don't mind.
Thank you, Senator-san. So it was a great opportunity for me to visit India after 2.5 years. So thank you, Ketan, for raising this question. As you know, that we have an alliance plant in India, and where we share almost everything in common. Renault was very strong, is very strong after launch of Kwid and other models. Nissan went through a transition. And thanks to now Nissan Magnite, that we are growing significantly. As you know, in December, we doubled our market share. The success of Nissan Magnite is the common platform with Renault, which is CMF-A+. And Nissan has been awarded the best brand of 2021. Now, the question is moving forward. Now, as we have today announced the CMF-BEV, and as we said, first we will focus in Europe, but this platform may have opportunity around the world. There are 3 things which we want to study for India. At first, the product excitement. For sure, we know that based on our experience, we will be overachieving the aspirations of Indian customer. The second is competitiveness. And competitiveness, when it comes to platform, we have it. Only question is how we are going to localize the battery. And this is the question which we want to study. And the third one is the ecosystem, which includes the infrastructure. And this is where we are going to study. Once we are able to tick these 3 boxes, number 1, product excitement, number 2, competitiveness, and number 3, ecosystem, definitely we will be there. But please give us some more time to study. But I can tell you that in 1 year, Indian EV market has grown by 3 times, and India is going to be a big potential for the EV market. So please stay tuned with us. We will get back to you. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you, Ashwani. I think you're the best witness of what we can see in India today. So thank you for the answer. We now have a question from Michael Fandoukidis. Could you explain how you will reach your target to reduce battery cost by 50% by 2026 and 65% in 2028, as we've seen significant price increases in raw materials? Also, do you plan more offtake contracts to secure supply and prices, and do you plan them at the alliance level? Maybe, Luca, you would like to have a start to that question?
Yeah, I mean, in fact, in the last 10 years, if you look at the history, we have already made it to reduce the cost of a battery by 50%. So it's a kind of ongoing process. We know that we have somehow a regression of 6, 7, 8% every year. But we made some fundamental decision in the alliance. For example, to work on same technology but two chemistries, to have the same module. So I think scale will and to integrate much more and closer to our plants, some few suppliers that we share. AAC is one good example. So I think that the outcome of all of that very, let's say, structured, efficient work will probably give it a kick again on the potential reduction. You're mentioning raw material price increase. I mean, we're used to it also on other parts of the car, unfortunately. So there is obviously always a risk that some materials will, because of a demand of whatever reason, might increase on the cost. The most sensitive of them, we're trying to reduce the utilization in the cathode and anode, etc. So there is a lot of work, for example, to reduce cobalt content in the batteries. So it's part of the game, right? It's part of the challenge that we have, and we are making what you call off-take contracts directly with some of the producers and the mines. We've done a few of them at Renault on nickel and lithium, and every time that we do it, we kind of share, let's say, the access to these materials within the alliance. For example, if we source lithium and nickel in Europe for the plant in the north, in Electricity, there will be also, as you have learned today, a Nissan car in the thing, which will have batteries. So obviously Nissan will benefit of this kind of contracts.
Okay, well, clearly, Ashwani, on the point, the specific point, because you mentioned these figures in your part of presentation, would you like to add something?
Absolutely. Thank you, Luca. So I would say very precisely that at first, technology to select the best raw material chemistry. That's what the know-how we have. Second is the process to standardize the cell, whether it is a segment car or a B segment car or a C segment car. And the third, economy of scale by using the common supplier. So if I put all these three strategies, enablers, we think we will go for 50%. Of course, as Luca mentioned, that we are going for cobalt-less batteries between 2026 and 2028 before actually we are going to launch the all solid state battery. So we want to work on the basic technology of the battery to reduce the cost. Hope it answers the question. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashwani. So now we get a question from Horst Schneider. Renault recently agreed a partnership with Geely in South Korea. What is the logic behind that? Why was this partnership done with Geely and not with another alliance member? So clearly, I mean, thank you for the question because it's a recent topic, and I would like Luca, of course, to jump in that and answer as clearly as possible.
First of all, I want to say that this is for us a big honor to be able to cooperate with Geely, which is one of the most competitive OEMs in the world. So we are very pleased that we could find this kind of agreement. The second point, you have to look at the history of the thing. And the history is that there was a decision completely legitimate from Nissan to move a product that was produced in Korea and left us with basically half of the plant empty. So we actually didn't have any, let's say, plan for product that were adapted to the Korean market, which is kind of an upper end CDE segment market. So we could see some, let's say, some storm at the horizon. And in fact, the reason for that cooperation is to solve a potential future problem that Renault would have in its presence with the Samsung brand and RSM company in Korea. So I think it's a very, very good news for the alliance, and it's very, very good news for our team in Korea, because if everything works well, as we hope, as we are working for, I think they can look at the future with a lot more optimism than just a few months ago. And I'm pleased that I could bring the solution to the, to the group and to the alliance.
Thank you, Luca. But obviously, this agreement is pushing away a grey cloud that was above Korea. And I think we will all enjoy, all the members of the alliance enjoy the performance that we will now see in Korea. It's obviously widely shared. So that's the good news. There is a last question from Igor Gudebev. Not surprised by the question then. Does the alliance plan to make EV vehicles in Russia? So maybe if you would agree, I would ask Luca, because Renault is of course a major player in the country, to pick up that question.
So thank you for the question. Of course, also in Russia there is a lot of discussion about electric vehicle development. We see that coming slightly later than Western Europe, which will probably be let's say the territory where elect EVs, because of the regulation and because of the general condition of usage of the product. So of course we are kind of a leader with Renault and especially the Lada brand in Russia. So as a leader we have to follow, rather anticipate some of the technological trends. So we haven't decided anything on that, but we're looking at the evolution of the regulation, and if something comes, we will obviously be looking at that with a very, very open mind.
There we are. Okay, well, we have now reached the end of our Q&A session. And obviously, I would like to thank the leadership and the 420,000 employees of the Alliance for the work they have done. You can be proud of the results achieved so far. The Alliance has become even more strategic, fully integrated upstream of each company's major decisions, and deeply rooted in the design and engineering of our vehicles and services. I think that appears clearly. It is time to say goodbye. Thank you for your attention. We all look forward to talk to you soon again. Take care and bye-bye.